everyone, Clack the Geek here, and welcome back to another Q&A, this time for September of 2022.
Do you remember when it was like September?
Anyway, you have left some questions that I'm going to answer now, so let's get to it. What was the last episode of Doctor Who you watched? It was Flatline, the Series 8 Capaldi story. Fantastic stuff, amazing, it's so creative and got great concepts, and the bonus are a great monster. It felt very alien, and it's also really funny as well. Capaldi in Series 8, I've never appreciated how funny he can be. Favourite musical songs? I've had to go for musical soundtracks, just to pick from. Grease, because of the production of it, and Little Shop of Horrors, because it's awesome. One of those two. Suddenly Seymour from Little Shop of Horrors is a fantastic duet, and also I can sing it. I can sing the male part, and it's actually not too bad. So maybe that's why I love it so much. But it's also a great song anyway. Any films you find overrated? Pan's Labyrinth is probably the one I go to often because it's got some great elements, but I was really let down by it because I think it's the villain of the film. I find him so one note and dull that he gets on my nerves in a bad way, and it just drags the film down for me. A TV show you've been getting into? Ghosts, the BBC sitcom. I've been watching that for the first time recently. It's hilarious. It's a fairly recent sitcom, but it's about this couple who move into a haunted house, and there's all the ghosts of the people who died there. But it's so funny. It's so funny, and I really want to do its own video on it because I think it's worthy of like a TV discussion video. What would you say is the most disappointing episode of Doctor Who? I'm gonna leave this to ones that I've seen on broadcast, because when you go back and watch old episodes, with the age of social media, there's always the fan discourse anyway. So you're open to new interpretations, all kinds of them. So I'll rattle off a few that I was disappointed by on broadcast. Extremis, I like it now, but when I watched it, I was quite confused. Revolution of the Daleks, I was kind of in denial of disappointment because I remember feeling in the back of my mind, I'm a bit let down by this, but I gave it an 8 out of 10 initially because I was like in denial almost, but yeah, it's not great. Survivors of the Flux, I didn't really like it that much. I was very let down by it. I thought, because of how good Flux had been up to that point, this is a massive step down. And Legend of the Sea Devils, I've never felt anything less towards a Doctor episode on broadcast than that thing. If you could only recover one missing serial from Hartnell and Troughton each, which stories would you pick? For Troughton, I'd definitely go Power of the Daleks, even though we have an animation. I'd go with that because you need to see Troughton's first ever Doctor Who performance. It's essential. As for Hartnell, Daleks Master Plan, Marco Polo, Celestial Toymaker, one of them. Can't really decide. Favourite type of curry? Chicken tikka masala. Is there a Big Finish story you're particularly looking forward to getting around to which isn't a Rob Shearman story? You tosser! You tosspot! Man, the one I'm looking forward to most is Jubilee, you tosser, and that's Rob Shearman. I hate you, Mary Bazza. Meanie. As for other big finishes that I'm looking forward to, Spare Parts. That's another famous one. Yeah. If you are wondering, by the way, I've been listening to the Big Finish stuff on Spotify. The early stuff, you can find that on Spotify. It's on there, so I'd give it a listen because that's cracking stuff. 3 questions, hope you don't mind. Of course I don't mind. Which series of Red Dwarf is your favourite? I haven't rewatched Red Dwarf in a while, so I'd need to give it another watch because I haven't watched it in a while. But from what I remember, series 3 to 6 was kind of its peak, although I'd probably go series 3 or series 5 because there's some amazing stuff. Back to Reality is probably the most acclaimed episode. It's a classic. Backwards is another acclaimed one. It's hilarious. Marooned, that's a really good bottle episode. The Inquisitor, I really like that one. It's quite thought-provoking for Red Dwarf. Would you ever consider doing a video saying what will your own series of Doctor Who look like? So kind of what would I do if I was showrunner kind of video? I mean, I'm open to it, but the thing is my ideas are just very fragmented. It's like, oh, you could do an anthology story, bring back the Celestial Toymaker, very fragmented ideas. So if I were to do that, I'd need to really think it through. So, yeah. Any thoughts on the Abominable Snowman animation? I have it here, and I'm actually part way through it right now. I'm part 3 or 4. Yeah, I've got part 3 out now. Overall, the animation I don't think is their best, and that's a shame considering it's the final one we're getting for a while, but oh well. If Chris Barry was playing a character in Doctor Who would you want him to be and why? I think I've said this before, but I want him to be the Doctor because I think he's got the comedic talent, but also the commanding, presence, and he's got the acting prowess. I think that he could do it. Okay, next batch of questions. Are there any snakes in England? Yes, there are. I think but I've never come across one, thank God. Did you ever get to see Queen Elizabeth in person? No, I didn't, but obviously, may she rest in peace. Thoughts with friends and family. She did loads for the country. She reigned 70 years. She was always a part of a lot of people's life, and it's going to be weird not having that. It's weird. We always just assume that she's immortal, but that's not true. How many actors who've played Doctor Who have you met at fan events you've attended? I have met, the numbered Doctors, 5. Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy, Paul McGann, Matt Smith, and very recently, Jodie Whittaker. What were your favourite classes in school? What are your least favourites? What languages are you studying? Favourites would be English, drama, film. Least favourites, sports theory, bore me to tears. Geography, I swear I fell asleep once in a geography lesson. What languages I'm studying? I used to study French, but I never studied it further for, exams and whatnot. And I don't know if I regret it, because I hear from a lot of people who did French exams, it was not very nice, but I think it's good to learn a language. I would like to learn a language properly. If you're a movie star, which of the 2 roles would you prefer to play? Winston Churchill or Austin Powers? I'm serious. So why are you now serious with your exclamation mark? Of course you're serious. I'm only joking. But in being serious, ironically, but I'd probably go Austin Powers just because, it'd probably be more fun to play. But it's the closest I would get to playing James Bond, so yeah, why not? Austin Powers all the way, go on. In the same vein, would you prefer to produce sci-fi movies or historical movies? Oh, that's a good one. Probably sci-fi, I think, because when I first read the question, I was thinking like Interstellar, so very rooted in real-world science, which, obviously, if you want to do that, you can. You go to the research, which is obviously, given, but I would do that if I wanted to do that, I'd do the research and whatnot. But with sci-fi, it's so broad, you can do so many things. You can do fantasy like Star Wars, you can do horror like Alien, you can do comedy, you can do political messaging. Sci-fi is ripe for political allegories and commentary, and there's so many interesting things you can do with that. Yeah, and I think it's more broad, and also it's my favourite genre probably. And with historicals, you have to be very accurate to its time period that you're portraying, so there is that. And last question, can you speak with an American accent? Bear in mind that this is quite late at night. I'm recording this at like 9:30 in the evening, and my voice is going a bit. But yeah, I can try. So here's my American accent right now with a raspy voice. So bear that in mind. But well, I can try. I know I'm a Brit, but I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. A lot of the shows I've done in the past, I have actually speak American. So yeah. I'm kind of used to it now. Dogs or cats? Dogs all the way. What would be your last meal? Fish and chips. Boris Johnson or Liz Truss? I don't really like Liz Truss, but Boris has absolutely no respect for me now. Like, any ounce of respect I had for him, gone. So, I guess Liz is better than nothing. Worst TV advert ever? There's some naff ones. The I Need a Hero meerkat one is getting on my nerves now. And it's a shame because I like the meerkats, but that one's getting on my nerves. Best 80s band? Duran Duran. Gotta be Duran Duran. Do you have a favourite board game? Probably Scrabble. I've played that from time to time with my family. And, it's a good brain exercise thing, figuring out the words. But it's also quite funny when I can make some daft words and I'll just take a picture. I don't know, it can be fun. Favourite Doctor Who quotes? This one.
You're a classic example of the inverse ratio between the size of the mouth and the size of the brain.
Or maybe this one. Best Bond final action scene, e.g. the volcano sequence from Young Live Twice, or the space fight from Moonraker. Any of the Lewis Gilbert ones, so as you said, Young Live Twice and Moonraker, and also The Spy Who Loved Me, with their big, epic, decadent scale, and these armies, and these amazing Ken Adams sets, that they're just amazing. I love those three. Those three, definitely. Which monster or villain would you like to see the 14th Doctor shoot a gap while facing his debut season? Sea Devils. Give the Sea Devils something better than that, whatever that thing from Easter was. Give them better. Also the Mara, because I actually watched Kinder very recently on the Martell's box set. The Kinder are really cool. Dream sequences, we'll see how that would be doing in Modern Who. Which representation of Germany in Doctor Who was better in your opinion? Now, I know who's asked this is a German viewer. I know you've said it before in the comment book before. So yeah. Okay, what was better representation? Nuremberg in Stolen Journey's End or Berlin in Let's Go Hitler? it would be Nuremberg in Stolen Journey's End because it doesn't feature a certain political party. What did you think of the Doctor Who Wi-Fi Monster Great Intelligence episode? Oh, Bells of St. John. I really like Bells of St. John. It's quite a bit of a comfort one. It's kind of modern day kind of thing. I really enjoy it. The Wi-Fi kind of, contemporary stuff. I enjoy that. I think it's a fun episode. 7.5 out of 10. Fun. Are you going to see the Avatar, the December 15th Avatar James Cameron movie? Oh, yeah, the Avatar sequel. Probably not. I haven't seen the original Avatar either, but I'm not. It's not a film that I'm particularly fussed on. I know it's like the highest grossing movie ever, but it just seems like one of those films that it looks amazing, but the story and characters are really paper thin. I don't know. And finally, any plans on any more Comic-Con trips? And if so, who would you like to meet there? Funny you should say that. This was a bit of a surprise recently, but I managed to go to Collectormania 27 at the beginning of September in Birmingham, which it was a bit of a surprise for me. It was only like a few days before. It was a bit of a surprise thing. And I met Jodie Whittaker there, and she was lovely. And I'm actually surprised I ended up meeting her because usually the big stars have massive queues, but no, I managed to meet her. It was mad. I didn't get any pictures, that's why I didn't vlog it, because I wanted to just enjoy the day. But I'm very grateful. I did actually get some pictures though, because I did also meet Sacha Dhawan, the master, and there was a few pictures that I got talking to him, so I'll try and put them on screen if I can find them. But yeah, it was a great day. It was. It's surreal. Meeting the current folk like Jodie and Sacha. It was very surreal. And that is all the questions. So cheers everyone for the questions. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, click the bell so you don't miss a thing. And this is Clack of the Geek signing out. Goodbye everyone.